Hi, I'm Mark Toole with 8020service.com, and today's customer service video question of the day is from Quora, and the question is, what companies have successfully implemented a customer-centric strategy and culture? It's kind of just mind-boggling to me that this is even a question that's being asked. And not because of the person asking the question, they're fully within their right mind to ask the question. What confuses me is that we've even gotten to a state in the world where this is a question that would be reasonable for someone to ask. If you have a business, you sell a product or a service, you sell that thing to customers. And in a capitalist society, you compete with others who provide similar products or services, substitutes, whatever, or simply compete with people who just don't buy the thing at all. So therefore, you have to exist as a business in the world, customer-centric strategy and culture. That's just called business. I could create a thing that people will want, and then I market it to them to get them to know that it exists, to use psychology to inform them of the benefits in a way that makes them want to buy it, and then they buy it, and I provide it to them, and I continue providing them a thing that's good, so they'll continue to buy it, so they won't cancel, so they won't ask for a refund, everything like that. I build the thing, the systems, everything, so everything just works as much as possible, so they don't buy it and say, how do I do this? How do I get in? This doesn't work. I don't know how to access it. They simply buy it. It's what they expected or better, and it's easy to use, easy to figure out, not a problem for them. This seems like common sense to me. This seems like the way to do business. The fact that it's a question, the fact that it's not, is the problem here. What company would not have, by this definition, a customer-centric strategy and culture? Well, I would say, really, I can't even think of any extreme complete examples of this other than the federal government, and even then the lady at the post office or the DMV is usually somewhat friendly to me, but it's coming from it. The only way this wouldn't be a thing is if it's a big monopoly, if it's something that's enforced by regulation, insurance companies. You have to buy insurance, sure, but there are several insurance companies you can pick from. Something like a cable or internet provider, even there, if you're just buying straight internet, yeah, at least in this country, at least where I live, you don't have much of a choice. You buy incredibly slow, less than 1 megabit DSL with a 2-year contract, or you sign up for cable internet from Comcast, pay pretty much the same price as the DSL, and it's like 100 times faster. But you have to deal with all of Comcast bullshit if you ever need to deal with them. I've talked about this in another video, where actually they're among the best customer service companies in the world because usually you don't have to talk to them about things and the thing just works, at least for internet. But that doesn't mean they're actually good at any sort of customer service. But they are customer-centric in that regard, that they provide a good product that generally works. Yes, it would probably be much cheaper and more affordable if there were some competition. Maybe it'd be a better product. Maybe there'd be faster speeds by now. Maybe Elon Musk, with his constellation of satellites that he's putting up there, will eventually make some changes come about in this area. But really, even that, it's customer-centric, especially them on their TV side. They have to be customer-centric because TV, you can put a satellite dish on your house. Yeah, you can't watch TV when it rains, but you can get all the TV stuff that you need. More and more people, younger generations like myself especially, aren't signing up for TV service. So put up an antenna, sign up for Netflix, call it good. YouTube, whatever you're watching. Videos on Quora or YouTube, depending where you're watching this. But customer-centric strategy, it's almost inevitable. Even something like the DMV, where you have to go in and you have to wait. The last time I went, the people there were actually really friendly, which was confusing, but nice. Customs at the airport in England was one of the customs guy at the Gatwick Airport in London was one of the friendliest people we met in all of England, surprisingly enough. We had to wait in a horribly long line with cameras taking pictures of us from every angle, and people locked in a little glass jail cell off to the side. Whole thing designed to intimidate you. The process is not customer-centric, but the people can still be customer-centric in a way. My point is that really a business cannot exist if it's not in some way customer-centric. So asking what companies have successfully implemented a customer-centric strategy, let's talk about a hypothetical company that did the opposite of this. They had a fuck the customer strategy, and they made a shitty product that was terrible, and they marketed it really poorly. They didn't let anybody know about it. It was super expensive. Nothing worked right. And if somebody was stupid enough to buy it, the customer service people just laughed at them and didn't help them at all. What would this company look like? Why would you buy from this company? The answer is you wouldn't, and the company would look like a thing that went out of business. Because the customer is the thing that keeps a company in existence. So surely there are some examples that are better than others, but the question itself is kind of pointless. The other thing is that it could be misleading. What you think of as a customer-centric strategy is not usually, but at least some of the time, people will point to these things that say, oh, that's good customer-centric something, when it's really just sort of a bullshit distraction. Like, if there's a company that has a lot of customers calling into their call center with the same problem all day long, but they call the customer service guy a ninja, and they make him wear a cape to the office, and he tells little jokes or something. Oh, that's a good customer-centric strategy. Is it? It'd be a better customer-centric strategy if those people never had to call about this repetitive thing at all. But that doesn't get noticed. That doesn't get written about in these conventional business magazines and things like that. The usual thing with this, and I talk about this a lot, I finally have a phrase that I heard today that sort of sums this thing up. Customer service, customer satisfaction, business, profits, all of this stuff is a complicated thing. It's very, very complicated, but to solve a complicated problem, it usually just requires very simple solutions. And when it comes to customer-centric strategy and culture, it's just simply having a good product, having things work the way they should, preventing as many customer problems as possible before they happen rather than simply handling them in customer service, and having good, effective marketing that puts the thing in front of the people in a way that they hear about it and want to buy it and don't feel misled once they've done so. Simple, not necessarily easy, and as far as companies that are actually doing this successfully, any company that's making a profit is doing this at least somewhat successfully, especially if they've been around for several years. You can cut corners on some of these things for a few years and get away with it, but anybody that's been around for a while making consistent profits, you can bet is in some way customer centric. And this doesn't have to look like what you might think it looks like. This call center full of agents 24 hours a day. Hello, hi, thanks for calling. No, it could be simply, hey, you've got a question or an issue, send us an email, we'll get back to you in 24 hours. Oh, what the hell? That's not customer-centric. Yes, it is. If I get back to you in 24 hours and this situation is taken care of to your satisfaction or better, you send one email, you go back to your day, and you know the thing's going to be taken care of, that's customer satisfaction. That's customer-centric right there. Whereas if you call and you pick up a phone, and for some reason every phone system does this, and I don't know why. When you call a call center business anywhere, it rings half a time in your ear and then plays an incredibly loud beeping noise. You're like, oh, fuck, it's one of these goddamn things. Then it starts talking with a computer voice and asks you to press 47 for English, and I am pretending to look this up. I am a recording. It plays a recording of typing. That thing will answer right away. You eventually get a hold of a person who's really just an NPC reading off a script and a procedures manual, essentially a computer program running on meat hardware for now. And it's going to ask you a bunch of questions that don't have anything to do with anything. You may eventually get to some sort of answer or resolution according to the scripts, not according to a person who thinks and makes decisions and fixes things for you. But this is considered customer-centric because you can call this guy at 3 in the morning when you're drunk and naked and don't know how to log into a website, and some poor bastard in India will have to walk you through the thing. That's customer-centric? No, that's an illusion of customer-centric. They call that guy a ninja and put a cape on him. It still doesn't help anything. So that's my answer to this question. I'm not going to give just a boring list of companies. Really, talking about the ideas and the principles behind things is a lot more interesting and more useful to anybody watching this who's in business. If I just listed off some companies, you go, oh, okay, great, done. But that's my take on this. That's all for today. I'm going to wrap this video up here. And like I've said many times before, I do one of these videos on a customer service question every weekday. Take the questions from Quora and also from comments on YouTube. So depending where you're watching, ask me a question. If you have one, I may use it in a future video. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, upvote, follow, all that good stuff. And then, of course, I will be back tomorrow with another video.